When it comes to learning how to digitize, everybody starts in the exact same place, the beginning, and that included myself. So in this video, we are going to digitize a very simple design, but we're going to do it two different ways. One as a bitmap or a raster file, the other as a vector file, which is going to be an SVG file. So we're going to show you how you can create a design quickly and easily that's going to run well on your machine. So I'm using the EL Digitizer, and the first thing I'm going to do is bring in my artwork. So I'm going to load a backdrop and I'm going to bring in the artwork, which is this one right here. Let's open it up and you're going to see that it is a super big design. I can click on the select backdrop, and this in my property shows me that this design is about 7 inches in height, and I'm just going to make this super tiny and make it about 2 inches in height, and there my design is done. Now for panning around, all I have to do is hit the space bar and click on my left click on my mouse, and I can move it anywhere I want on the screen. So I'm just going to place it right there, and now I'm going to zoom into my scale. I'm going to go to a 6:1 scale, because this is the scale that I learned to digitize at many years ago, and I usually toggle between 3 and 6:1. Those are my two go-tos. But you don't have to do that. You can actually bring up, to any scale you want, random scales like 518%. But I do suggest, if you're going to do that, that you have your grid on so that you can always kind of visually see what the measurements are, because these are tiny 1mm squares. But because I am a digitizer who was trained 40 years ago, I digitized at 6:1, and I pretty much know at this scale what I'm actually going to be looking at. So 6:1 is my go-to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this design. I'm going to do this sleeve first. I'm going to do this one second, this one third, but I'm going to actually take that and kind of dim it down just a bit, because I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing on screen. And I am going to change the color. I'll just do, let's say, some orange leaves, and we'll change the color afterwards. And then I'm going to click off of the object. So my artwork is ready to go. Now I'm going to use a couple different tools. I'll start out by doing a classic satin tool. This is just a point counterpoint tool, kind of standard in the industry, but it just allows you to go from one side to the other, create your object, and then I can do curves with a right click, and here I'll go to a straight, which is actually left clicks on my mouse, and then I'll go back to a curve so that I can generate that little stem, and then I will just hit enter, and it's going to generate that object. Now right now I am on PK knit. I'm going to put this onto a little golf shirt, and I want to make sure that I have the appropriate underlay. So we do have abilities to actually change our recipes to whatever we want. So if I want to change it to pecan, I can at the click of a button, but I'm going to leave it where it is. Now, I'm going to do the next leaf using a different tool. So let's switch over and use the satin tool. And this one is kind of the same, but a little tiny bit different. I just am going to do a click here for straight, and then I can come curve. And instead of going point counterpoint, I'm going to actually just go around the outside of this design. And then I come back to here where it's going to be straight. And then I come here and I'm going to put my points down. Now, keeping in mind, I did that with my regular line tool. So I have a line tool, and I'm just going to then enter. And as soon as I enter, it asks me to put in my inclination points. I can move them any way I want. Doesn't matter if I go right to left or left to right. Hit the enter and then hit it again. Now this software does have a auto smart join, a auto trim, and an auto lock. So because all of my I guess automatic or automated pieces are turned on, I have autopilot for the most part, I don't really have to worry about unnecessary jumps or trims. And that is also something that I love as far as the speed in digitizing. So I'm just going to pan up here, and this time, instead of using a regular line tool, I'm going to use my favorite tool, which is the fast draw tool. And I'm just going to start here as well. I'm going to go right here. Let's put our first point down, and then I'm going to right click for a curve, and then I'm going to left click for a straight. So I'll just go here, come to a straight point, then go over to a curve. Now this is what I love about the EL Digitizer. At any time I can hit that space key and I can move around while I am in the digitizing process. It is so easy to actually create objects and not have to get lost on the screen somewhere, because if I get to the bottom right here and I need to move over, then I just move over like that, and I can keep on going. So I'm just going to do this little piece here, and then the exact same thing, hit that enter button, put my inclination points in, and I'll just put one here, and same thing, I can just pan, put a couple more inclinations in, and boom, I am done. And it is going to give me everything I need if I go and fit this to the screen. So I'm going to fit to screen, and let's just get this one here. And there we go, fit to screen. Now, and actually let's back out a little bit more, but if I go and turn my image off so I can set it so that it's not checked for view backdrop, and I can take that design now, and let's actually make those leaves green. So I'll make it a green color instead, and you can see that everything is done, and it is automatically splitting the satins, and it is, you know, basically giving me everything I need to run on PKNet. So if I look at the little player here, I can see that it's doing a double zigzag edge run, finishing those stitches, and there is absolutely no jumps or trims in that design. So super easy, but now I'm going to show you how you can bring in SVG files, because SVG files are, you know, artwork files, they're outlines, and I don't necessarily have to redraw everything, but it's not all perfect. You do have to look at the way SVG files were created, and you might have to make some modifications to it prior to just sort of automatically converting to stitches. So I'm going to bring in the exact same design, but I'm going to bring in the SVG file instead. And now it's super big there, so I'm just going to grab this piece right here, and I'm going to look at the properties, and I'm going to transform it, and make that one 2 inches as well. So it's going to be a 2-inch height. And then I lost it here on the screen, but let's just go to fit to screen and see where it is. There it is right there. I'll just bring it up kind of beside that one, move it over a little bit so they're beside each other. And this is the other cool thing that I like. I can click this off so that it's no longer a fill. And because it's still selected, I can make that the same green color, and that is my SVG. It is one piece of artwork. But here's where we do have to make a couple of little adjustments, and I don't even really have to worry about digitizing at a 6:1 scale now, because I'm going to be using some of my slicing tools. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to slice, and all I have to do is come here on the first part, and let's just come all the way across and create a slice here, and then I'm going to right click, and that is going to give me actually a slice right here, and it is done. Then I'm going to come here, and I can do the same thing, come here, and just come and put my point down, and I'll just put a few points down, and then I will come here and I will right click, and there's that piece there. Now I have my pieces separated, but I do need to select these, and I am going to go in and edit the paths, and I will come in and just kind of make this into a object that kind of is going to resemble what the stitches would look like. And this is where you can, you know, come in and fine-tune your pieces of artwork. And I can also come here and delete a couple points if I can see that, you know what, moving those around is just going to clutter things up. So I'm going to come in here and delete points, and I can see 2 points right here. So let's just grab that one and delete that one as well. And then this one I can just bring right down to here, and that's probably pretty good. I could probably delete this one too. So the reality is, by the time I've gone and cleaned all these pieces up, I probably, you know, could have done it a little bit easier as far as manually digitizing in the first place, but I'm not going to get too stressed out about making it perfect, because I am at 526% here, it says on the screen, and that really isn't reality. Reality is actually 100%. So I'm just going to, again, use my pan. I'm going to bring this right to here. I'm going to look at my objects that I created, and you see that they are artwork, but all I want to do is make sure that I resequence them. So I'm going to move this one here, I'm going to move this one right here, and then that last one is there. Now that they are in the order that I want them to be created, it's just as easy as putting in inclinations, because the objects are already drawn. Oops, let's go back here. If you ever lose a piece, you can always go back to it just by clicking on it. Hit enter, enter again. Then I'm going to click on this one. Well, let's just grab that. I'm going to select that, grab this object right here. Do the same thing. Let's turn this one into stitches. So I can just put my inclinations in, hit enter, enter, and then I'm going to do the last piece, which I'm going to grab this one. Let's make that into stitches as well. And then I can see that I had a piece that I needed to, not cross over on. So if you ever go off of an object, like there I went off of it, you can always come back to the object very easily, enter, enter, and I'm done. But I see one little problem, and I am going to turn on my outline so I can see the original artwork. And this is where, if you look at an SVG file, and let's just zoom down here like this is where you never know how the original file was kind of drawn. And that little line that's hanging down there, if I go to my edit path and I start looking at these points and start moving them around, I can see that there was kind of two lines that were overlapping, and just by moving it, it fixed up that little problem. So there is still a little bit of tweaking done, because you have to remember that when you're dealing with vector art files, they are only as good as the person who created them. So you might have to go in there and you might have to do some modifications. Now, once that's done, we can take this object right here and we could, rotate it and flip it, and then, bring it in a little bit and turn it and start doing a bit of a layout so that this would come together. And you can just, use your imagination as far as joining pieces together. Sky's the limit. So I could take this piece right from here to here, and then change the order of that so I can take those pieces, bring them up to the beginning, and now it's going to be underneath of the other object. So super, super easy to create designs using these tools, using the auto, artwork. It's already drawn, but you still have to go in and manipulate it a little bit so that it's going to turn out well for embroidery. Now, one more little thing I'm going to do, because this is kind of editing the design after it's done. If I do look at the redraw on this, so let's go back to our redraw, and I'm going to see how it is going to do that piece first, and then it's going to do this piece second, then it's going to come here and do this piece, and then it jumps from there over to there. And that is a little bit of an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this up a little bit so that we are not going to have those unnecessary jumps and trims in the design. And there's a couple of ways that I can do that. So I'm just going to look at the way this is done. This piece is first, this piece is second, this piece is third. I'm going to come in here, edit the path, move my stop position down to the bottom here. Then I can come and look at this piece, which is there, but let's move this one from here to there. And then let's look at the start position so that I can come here and edit the start. And I'm going to start right here because that is close to where it was. That little trim actually just disappeared. Here is the before. There's my little scissors. Here is the after. And then I'm going to grab this piece and I'm going to start right down here to get rid of that little trim. So now that trim's gone. And then it's going to do this one. And as long as this piece starts right about here, which it does, so it doesn't really get much easier than that. Let's just go to 3D. We'll click off this and we will bring this design and make it a little bit smaller so you can view it on screen. So be sure to join us next time for another easy digitizing tutorial. Inner Circle members, don't forget to download your lesson files below. Not a member yet? Join the Inner Circle and get access to exclusive bonuses, hands-on training, and everything you need to master embroidery digitizing. Click the link in the description to get started. Want to keep learning? Check out these tutorials next and take your embroidery skills even further.